I used to have a car. I used to have a car, RAV4, when I came to Ongata Rongai, when I came to Kiserian, and I had a bad accident. And during that time, I was serving in a very flourishing ministry. Huduma mzuri kabisa. They took care of me. Hata hiyo gari nilikuwa naendesha, ilikuwa ni zawadi nilipata kwa hiyo kanisa. RAV4 mzuri. I was the second owner of that RAV4. Mzuri sana. I loved it. The church was a big church. I was well taken care of. Shopping was done for my wife. My wife was working, but shopping was being done for her every month. Kando na what I get for my upkeep. Kando na what I get, I was well taken care of. The vehicle was fueled. Every week inakuwa fueled, najaza fuel. Could go wherever I want to go. I mean, it was good ministry. Good ministry. And I thank God for that season. Very good. I got an accident after I left that ministry, and I had begun Effectual Fervent Worship Church. This was a young church coming up from the ground, from nothing. I had not broken away from any church. Sikuwa na washirika nimeiba kutoka kwa kanisa ingine. Ilikuwa ni kazi ambayo imetoka chini kabisa. Sasa hiyo gari ikapata accident, ikakuwa write off, insurance haikuwa nayo. Nikakaa bila gari, nikiwa nang'ang'ana na ministry hapa, tukawa na gari nyingine ndogo hiyo tunatumia. But I really desired, in my heart I was desiring, Lord, what happened? Why did I have to lose that car? It was a very nice car. I liked it. But it was no more. It was write off. I sold it. I used the money to do some other things I needed to do in my whatever. But in my heart, I wanted a good car. And I was wondering now, because I would see pastors doing fundraisings. Pastors wanafanya fundraising ya gari na wananunua magari. Na mimi naona nashangaa nikiangalia nitafanya hivyo vile wanafanya. Na mimi hata congregation sina. Na hata congregation ile niko nayo hawezi, bado wako chini. Hawajafika hiyo kiwango. Nitapata wapi gari? Ama hiyo nini yangu imeenda hivyo bwana. But I kept serving the Lord. That's what the Lord had called me for. He had called me to serve him and to work for him the way I was working for him. And I was persuaded deep within me, I'm in the right place. I'm doing what God has called me to do. Glory be to God. It took time, brothers. It took time until last year. I think last year. Yeah, last year but one, I think. Yeah, last year but one. That's when I got a phone call that changed my life. It amazed me. God knew the desire of my heart. He knew the desire of my heart as I was serving him. And because one thing I told myself, the one who pays me and takes care of me is God. God taught me one thing, not to put my trust in the congregation or the people. He taught me that very early. Not to nisingie kwa sarakasi ya huduma. Umejua kuna sarakasi ya huduma ile inaongozwa na tumbo ama mahitaji ulizo nazo. And I can easily do that. And a man of God who has a congregation can easily do that. Akisukumwa na tumbo yake, anaweza changisha pesa na apate pesa ya kufanya kila kitu anataka kufanya. That temptation is there. But God delivered me from that. And I knew I had to trust in God. As I serve God, the one who pays me is God. The one who feeds me is God. I couldn't take my wife to the salon and do for her the kind of stuff I used to do for her. I can't do those things anymore, you know. And she knows it. To God, take care of her. Take care of her needs. Ile shopping alikuwa napata, you sort out that, Lord. And I keep just serving God because whatever I have must come from God, because I left the bank to serve God. I left a steady income to serve God. And I knew that this God is faithful. He was able to take care of me, my family, and everything that is called by my name. And I left everything. And I landed in the hands of God, of the Lord. And it was not easy. It was tough. Really tough. At some point, almost splitting or destroying my family, you know, and stuff. But God is faithful. God is faithful. I got a phone call from this brother. And this brother tells me, Pastor, and he was calling me out of the country. He was out of the country on some business. He calls me and tells me, Pastor, God has spoken to me. He's told me to give you my car. Glory be to God. To give you my car. But before I give you, Pastor, give me time. Let me come back from the UK. I've taken that vehicle to a garage. I want it to to be painted afresh. I want the shocks to be replaced. I want the suspension to be done well. I want the car to be clean before I hand it over to you. Please just bear with me, Pastor. I am coming. I am saying this so that I don't turn back on my word. Glory be to God. Because he knew what he was doing was a big sacrifice. For him, it was something big. And God must have been the one who compelled him. He was not a member of my church. He was not a member of my church. I ministered to him many years ago. Not a member of my congregation. I had not told him I need a car. I had not told him of what I was going through. He knew nothing. He only had my contact. And he called me to tell me that. Oh, and I thought it was just a car because it's a car that he had used. So I thought it's just a car. Until he encouraged me to go and see the car, view it in the garage, and I went to see it. I couldn't believe it. The car that I now have, to the glory of God. God is faithful. God is faithful.